Talk about keep my mind on the streets, cause that green give you cloud. If it's bread making, baby, I'ma always throw that down. I put my work in the streets, rapping shot on these beats. A lazy man gon' stop, but I'm always gon' eat. Everybody can't do what I do, that's why I'm crushing your crew. From Chi-Town, Memphis, Tennessee, and all through the Lou. I'm so fresh and so new, got a hot album too. I came out of nowhere and I'm taking all of these suckers juice. I keep my promo on them poles, keep that powder out my nose. I'm staying focused, man, with 1 million copies sold. Say my name.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Say my name. Stayed on my green. I ain't never gonna let nobody talk me out of rolling with my team. Y'all know what I mean. It's money hungry fiends. They think they can outsmart you by selling you a dream. But I stay grinding cause I'm bread making, homie. And they can't figure me out because they really don't know me. You got to show me. My mama didn't name me Toby. These suckers want slaves, but I'm shaking them like Kobe. It's real in the field. I'm on the mill. I'm not hollow point tip, pointing at you ready to kill. These suckers better chill. But ask Brother Will, the king is in the building, so you haters take a kneel. Say my name.
The Chicago.
What's my name? Say my name.
Well, we are here. We are here today. Today, on this day, we are here to discuss something that we should not have to discuss when it comes to basketball itself. Welcome to the Gingerbread Man Show. This is Steady Serving Sports ENT, an extension of Simply Ball Dropping Podcast with my main man, K-Sap. What's up, K-Sap? What's going on? Shout out to the Full Court Trio. Shout out to the Players Club. Shout out to my brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, in the network. Y'all, shout out to Get That Off Your Chest segment coming up this Sunday at 9:30 p.m. We do 2 days a week on Sunday night at 9:30 and Wednesday night at 9:30. We have officially gotten rid of the crash out room. But if it's something to crash out, it is about this subject. If it is something to crash out, this is what it is supposed to be, crash out time. But I'm going to do myself some justice because I know others now look at this channel, look at this podcast and tune in and do the things of looking and hate watching also. So I'm going to say this, welcome. Come on in and say a good morning to my family. MDT, I see you, JC, I see you in the building. My niece, she wins, is here. My brother MSL, you will be coming up today, this morning. This is something I know you probably been waiting on. Brian Lewis, my brother from another mother, my main man, is in the building. As we go over, man, and look at what's happening, we driving into one of the most talked about weeks in WNBA history. The league finds itself under an even brighter national spotlight as debates over the safety, physical play, officiating, injuries, and record-breaking performances continue to dominate the headlines. We began with this biggest story of this week. Members of Congress have sent a letter to the WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert requesting an answer about player safety. They're calling her on the table. They want Cathy Engelbert to come and sit down and talk about it. Officiating and the league's response to the incident involving Caitlin Clark in particularly. We'll examine what the letter says, why it was written, and what impact, if any, it could have on the league moving forward. We'll also separate confirmed facts from opinions and discussions, how these issues or this issue has become one of the biggest talked about points in sports. Next, we'll talk about, is Caitlin Clark injured? What is it moving forward? Is there any concerns of how her absence has affected the Indiana Fever or haven't affected the Indiana Fever on her absence? Has the league done enough to protect their biggest stars, include Angel Reese and those abroad? How should the WNBA balance the physical competition with the player safety? And as it dialogues throughout the highways and byways of the United States of America. I'm going to break down the recent on-the-court incident that follows, and then you're going to hear people talk about the incident on this show today, this morning. Then I'm going to turn the attention to Skylar Diggins and what's going on with Skylar and the questions surrounding the Chicago Sky organization. Once again, from day one, since we started in 2024, those of us that came just because Angel Reese had came to the Chicago Sky and started watching Angel as it started moving forward in the season of 2024, there has been a lot of pileups of people following, and some of us that has been there from day one call those people bandwagoners, or now see that it is a big business to go and talk about Angel Reese. Some of us that are here, that has been here on this side, that has been going through the abusive language talks, messages, comments, and concerns, and calling us out of our names in chats. Us, the people that has been here with Angel Reese, feel as though some of the turning tides with the new Angel Reese fans have taken a certain type of turn that us, the ones that's been with her A1 day one, feel that some of the things that are going on in the community has to be changed. We'll also celebrate history as Angel Reese continues to rewrite the record books. Her incredible pace in recording double-doubles has placed her among some of the greatest players ever to begin in the WNBA careers and theirs. We'll compare the accomplishments with the legends of the game and discuss whether she's building one of the most dominant starts ever seen in women's basketball for the last 3 years. Is the WNBA facing the biggest public relationship challenge in this year? Has the physical style of play gone too far? Or is this simply an elite competition type of talk? What responsibility does the officials have coming and sticking their nose into what's going on right now in basketball today? They never cared until Caitlin Clark came. Can the league maintain the competitive intensity while improving consistency in officiating? Because it has been right now in 2026 the worst. Is Angel Reese putting together an all NBA caliber type of season? And what should fans really realistically expect from Skylar Diggins in the Chicago Sky. So I'll be bringing up people discussing this issue. We're going to have a talk today. This is Friday. So I'm asking for you guys, if you really want to give to the channel, please give to the channel. And also, if you want your comments to be read, please give a super chat and I'll read them off to you. Today is Friday, and I appreciate each and everybody that came up in the building. Hey, my sister, big girl, how you doing, my beautiful sister? I love you, and I appreciate you getting up. Green Thumb, hey, my sister, how you doing? I see my sister Mary is in the house. Troy Hall, my nephew, what's happening, man? Listen, we got a show today. We got another show today. Listen, y'all. The Congress have stuck in their nose in the business of the WNBA because of one player that they're concerned about. Congress has now wrote a letter, an official letter, addressing Cathy Engelbert. And me personally, I think that she should be addressed. Now, I told y'all when I started last year or the year before, in 2024 in December, I told you guys that one thing that I don't like to discuss on my show is politics and religion. I'll never get into that. We could debate about just about any type of subject. And what I cover is the WNBA. Y'all already know that I'm a music artist. So by me being an artist and loving music and being around music all of my life, I've never wanted to have a debate about politics or religion. It's not a universal law. That's just the laws of the country and what we go by here in this community. It's a hell of a thing when congressional officers put up a notification and a letterhead involving your league of any kind. When the government starts to stick their noses into your operation, you are in trouble. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. When there are national eyes, consistent letters being thrown into a mailbox, onto emails, when congressional officers are getting contact, this is not just happening in 2026. I showed you guys where a young man walked inside and was, playing the guitar and talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, how much he didn't like her and how much he loved her. And, this became a big issue. This became a grand issue that should not even be a subject at all. But since we're here, I'm going to put it up for you. And we're going to talk about this because these people are serious about their great white hope. Now, you guys see the letterhead? Congress of the United States, Washington, D.C., July the 7th, 2026. Cathy Engelbert, Commissioner, Women's National Basketball Association, 645 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10022. Dear Commissioner Engelbert, Caitlin Clark is transforming WNBA sports. Caitlin Clark is not Caitlin Clark, Asia Wilson, Angel Reese, the leading stars of it. She has inspired a new generation of young girls to participate in athletics and has become one of the most influential figures in history of women's basketball. She is also the face of the league. They declared her the face of the league, just like the president's Sleepy Joe Biden wife, Miss Biden, wanted to make it a clear-cut picture. So I don't want to hear nothing from you guys, you Democrats, because Miss Biden started all of this, the cry out of white America about their golden goose. So if you're a Democrat in the chat, shut your butt up. I don't want to hear you, because the president that you elected, his wife, when Angel Reese won a championship with LSU, his wife wanted Caitlin Clark to come to the White House on loser values. So I don't care nothing about no Republican or no Democrat talk in this chat. You shut your mouth if you so-called are a Democrat, because you can't stand on nothing, because the president that you elected, his wife started all of this when it came to anything or any person from the government speaking out about women's basketball. Joe Biden's wife invited a loser that was in Iowa to sit there and take pictures in Washington. So that's why I don't get into those political discussions, because guess what? They all stand the same. And you're going to always be in the back, making pies and dinner and getting silverware and knocking at the back door when it comes to them and their people. So shut up, shut up, shut up. I don't want to hear it in the chat about no Republican nor no Democrat. This is real. Clark has been hip checked, poked in the eye, and struck in the throat during games. These incidents go far beyond routine physical play. Yet, the WNBA and its officiating have too often failed to address these unacceptable incidents and holding players accountable. Recently, a player even appeared to endorse violence against Clark in a social media post, further fueling concerns about culture surrounding these incidents. In addition, concerns reports suggest that many of these attacks against Caitlin Clark may be racially motivated. As commissioner, you have an obligation to endorse that every player competes in a safe and professional environment. I agree on that. Both on and off the court, free from violence, discrimination, or relationship. In discrimination or relation is occurred and create a hostile work environment, we support any appropriate investigation by the Department of Justice, the Department of Labor, and Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. If true, such conduct could constitute violations of federal civil rights laws. It's imperative that the WNBA take meaningful action to address these issues. The league has extraordinary opportunity and inspire the next generation of female athletes to pursue athletics, but the opportunity is undermined when its brightest stars, they did inclusion, are not adequately protected. Your fans deserve better, and so do the young girls who look to the WNBA as a model of excellence, sportsmanship, and opportunity. Y'all know what the rest of the letter spoke about. I agree with that part. And Cathy Engelbert, I told you on this podcast, Cathy and all of the fans that will get this podcast today, I told you guys over and over again that Brother Claude reported to you guys that Cathy Engelbert is a shark. She cares not of what happens, even to Caitlin Clark. She is running a money model of how to bring in resources to keep her job and, of course, make the WNBA grow, because that's her mission with her name on the line. She is a money person that has no significance of relationship with any of the players. So when Nafisha Collier came to the podium last year, a lot of people did not like it. What's up, Brother Van? How you doing, crazy? Live, laugh, love. How you doing? But Nafisha Collier went to the podium and says that Cathy don't care. She don't have personal relationships with nobody, she bet, in the whole WNBA, at least not the stars. So, rightfully so, Cathy Engelbert, you have now called to the carpet with a congressional letter stating some of the facts that we were already dealing with in the WNBA, and it becoming hard to watch. Because the officials that you have hired and you got on $5 food stamps, and food stamps, I don't even think you can cash them in no more. But you around here paying the officials that you have in this league with $5 food stamps that was given in the 80s. Not even an EBT card. You have ignored the real responsibility of running a league with compassion. You have failure of running a league to catch up with the times of the day, because you guys know when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese came into the league was so, it would look like caveman stages. Angel Reese had to come into Chicago in a rec center with a curtain that was at the back of the window. When she walked in to maybe 7 to 11 reporters or people, I don't even think all of them was reporters. Maybe 4 or 5 of them were reporters, and a couple of beat reporters, which Annie Costinable whack butt was there. But Angel Reese was accepted in Chicago in a rec center with no red carpet, with no hotel and all of this stuff, because you guys are running a cheap organization. But we're going to get into Chicago Sky. We're not going to do it in this segment. But you guys know that the congressional office has called to order and summoned a semi-summon to Cathy Engelbert, who has to have answers, which they continuously have data and footage and ongoing conversations, because congressional officers have been written letters about Cathy Engelbert and the way she run her business. Good morning, Mama June. Morning, not for the week. We have to say that we have seen the girls get beat probably in a more hyper fashion because of the competition. Like Nafisha Collier said in the beginning of this year, she was like, yeah, it's like the Game of Thrones out there, because people are now, they're getting real money that they never had before in life. These girls are getting paid. Some of them people like DeWanna Bonner, shoot what she wanna. She ain't never had this type of money come to her. She on a Netflix special. And this year was the first year that DeWanna Bonner got some money. And she still feel underpaid because of her 17 years that she was in the height and the peak of her career. I think she is the second leading scorer in the WNBA. Good morning, good morning. Mama June, I see you in the building. Sister Trudy, what's up, beautiful? So now we got a situation. We got a situation on our hands that the government now is involving themselves into basketball. But me too, I'm one of those ones that remember on Fox News, LeBron was told to shut up and dribble. That's what they think. And that's how they think. And I'm not inciting anything because it was said and done. So don't come over here talking about that I'm inciting some type of trouble. Trouble has already sparked in the WNBA. Trouble has already been existing in this league. You had a league of advocates and activists, and a league that was led by the alphabet community, the LGBTQ community, and mostly populated by that community. So when straight girls came in, a lot of the straight girls, facts, felt that they were being bullied. See, before it was a Caitlin Clark, there were different situations where the league was even put into a court case about the abuse of some said player and going and putting a lawsuit out about the mob in the WNBA, which do exist. I don't deny that. But what I do disagree with, that lawmakers should involve themselves in what is a sport. What is a sport that the lawmakers should not have anything to do with at all? But the Department of Justice made sure that they were felt and put Cathy Engelbert on notice. So if you agree with that or not, this is what we're dealing with. This is what it is. And this is how big they want to protect their great white hope. Pull that down. I'm going to pull something up for you guys. Shout out to She Wins and Big Girl and Brother Van. And AC Chi-Town Calvin, always working with your brother, making sure that I'm up to date and making sure that, you know, I'm able to see things in real time quickly. Let me see. A lot of stuff has gone. Let me see. I didn't know. Some of this stuff updates itself in particular. All right. I was trying to pull up situation with the conversation with Candace Parker and the other girls, Slim and from the broadcast last night, and they were talking about how safety and public safety, Slim Cash, Swing Cash, were talking about the safety and the public safety that they were advocating during the last night interview. And I just, you know, my whole thing is with what they were talking about at the end, it just don't begin begin and end with Caitlin Clark. And I'm sure you guys all saw the congressional letter that then it updated itself. So it's gone out of there. So I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about. But anyway, to move forward, Cathy Engelbert has a problem. She has a straight problem. Okay, here you go. All right, she has a straight problem, and I just wanted y'all to, you know, to listen to this and what the women who have played the game, the legends of the game, if you like them or not, what they had to say.
Well, women in general in this country are no stranger to the scrutiny, the debate, the legislation, the laws that have been on our bodies, on our rights, and now on our play, right? And so I think that it's all great in between the lines. We can debate, but let's remember this is a game, right? When you step outside the lines, the hard stop to me is death threats.
Absolutely.
Like that to me is the hard stop. And so in that study committee call to action, the third bullet point was and violation online and scrutiny and all these things. And it's like, but that should be number one. Like the player protection outside of the lines is the most important. And I think that that's where we need to start is we need to protect our players and we need to say something because this is ridiculous what Alyssa Thomas is going through, you know, for something that happened in between the lines. And I think there needs to be an outcome.
Guys,
stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Candace, nobody believes that you concerned. You got one thing that you relying on, just like these congressional people.
Cry and an outrage for that as well.
Yes, and you have three women who've played the game and been a part of the WNBA, so it's important for us also to share our thoughts. But Linz, I want to get your thoughts on this too.
I mean, we're people. We play the game, but we're human beings. One play, she gets death threats, right? I just feel like this is an opportunistic opportunity. You have a lot of people who are new to the league, a lot of people who've never watched. They don't know the history. They don't know what we've been through, and they want to sit at the table. So it's important, I think, that our players, our coaches, organizations just unite and come together, have awareness of what we're saying, what we're doing, because we have to protect this league. We have to protect the forward progress we have because we're not where we want to be yet, but we're moving in that direction.
You know, and I think the beauty in all of this is we sit here today having the studio show is that we've seen the WNBA and the women collectively always come together. And what I would say to anybody that is trying to divide or be divisive with the WNBA, look at the history of the league. These women always stand on business to come together. And so I hope at a time like this, when so many eyeballs are on our game, social media and everything else, that is another opportunity for them to stand together. So as women at WNBA, we want you guys to keep moving.
So I'm with Swing Cash. I mean, I like her too. You know what I mean? These women, obviously, all three of them have had prominent careers in the WNBA. And then, of course, you know, Candace Parker was probably second to none as a rookie coming into this league, being rookie of the year. And then, of course, the MVP and all, and winning a championship. You know, Candace Parker, one of the coldest young players that came into the game of the WNBA, came into the league, and she did go through violence. She did go through violence when she first came in, you know, the Detroit Brawl. So what's up, MR? How you doing, brother? So the thing is this, y'all. My next part of this topic, should Caitlin Clark just walk away? Should Caitlin Clark step away from basketball? Why are you saying that, bro, Claude? Here we go. I thought we was going to be safe and not talk about Caitlin Clark debates. But I think that Caitlin Clark should walk away from basketball because she don't want to play anymore. We're finding it time and time again where Caitlin Clark is absolutely frustrated on the court because she's not getting certain calls that she's believing happen. Yes, is things happening to her on the court? I can stand on 10 toes and say, yeah, yes. But also, I also can stand and say that Caitlin Clark brings a lot of that other stuff to the table. What do you mean, bro, Claude? Well, she never addressed the people who are weaponizing her for this game. She never spoke against the people who weaponizes her every single day that we come on this podcast, y'all, that we come up to the chat room on YouTube, that we discuss here on this channel and other channels. Caitlin Clark has not addressed fully. And when it started happening, she has not addressed it in a way that it should be addressed. Or let me be fair, the way that most of us that's cognate and understand what the hell is going on would address it. So my thing is, should Caitlin Clark step away from basketball right now, today? Because once again, she's out. Last night just so happened on a Mercury game. They have to play the Phoenix Mercury. She was good to go and play the game previously to the Mercury game. But she was bad. The day before it happened, not to play.
Make sure that we're sort of clear on the nuance of the voting here, right? That's an important part of this. They didn't say that she was the 11th best guard in the WNBA. That's not what happened. As you mentioned, a lot of people didn't get ballots, a lot of people didn't vote, but what they did, they voted for the top 4 guards in the league. That was what the All-Star ballot was. So people were voting for top 4. I don't think that you can make a compelling argument that Caitlin Clark is a top 4 guard in the WNBA. Like, nobody can at this point. That is why she was 11. She got the 11th most votes for being in the top 4. So there's really no controversy about that, because especially when you add in the fact that she is one of the most popular players in the WNBA. She's going to make the All-Star team. That is not the argument here. I think what bothers me is when this is framed as some sort of like petty jealousy or insecurity by these women in the WNBA, because that's not what I'm seeing what's happening with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is experiencing pretty much what happens anytime a young player comes into the league with a lot of hype, especially the hype that she's receiving that says all of these, the whole entire league basically should be thankful that she's there. She's going to be the best player that you've ever seen. Whenever this happens in any league, in any sport, in any gender, there is backlash to that, because there are players who are there who are saying, we built this, show me what you got. And they target that player. That happens all the time. Michael Jordan had the freeze out in the Olympics. They would not pass him the ball. LeBron James, when he got in the league and he was the chosen one, they were physical with LeBron James. When we're talking about Wemby right now, we're talking about a guy, the best way to attack him is with physicality and to beat him up. Candace Parker was in the middle of a riot in the middle of a WNBA game in her rookie year because they were attacking her because she was coming in as a prospective GOAT in the league. This happens. Angel Reese, by the way, is somebody who came in with Caitlin Clark, who has experienced flagrant twos, who Alyssa Thomas also basically choke slammed and threw on the ground last year. Like, this is something that happens across sports. And Caitlin Clark, to her credit, is not somebody who is going out there and begging for something to be done. When this play happened, she got up and ran back to the other side of the court because Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball. She doesn't want congressional hearings about her being fouled. She doesn't want you to call in the National Guard when there is a foul on her. She wants to play basketball.
So therefore, he's saying that she wants to play basketball. But I beg to differ.
Wants to deal with the physicality. She just wants it called correctly. And the WNBA has a referee problem where they're not calling these across the board. But this is not some issue where she is a victim of anything. If anything, she is a victim of people using her and bad faith and using her to target these women when Caitlin Clark herself just wants to play basketball.
Some of that I do agree with. And he had great points. But should Caitlin Clark quit basketball, guys? Because you saw as she was walking out, and you saw that she was okay when she was walking out then, in that frame, she was okay. She was not holding her back. She was not having some type of outward look that we could look at her and see that she was ailing from an injury. And Candace Parker tried to debunk and fool people with her manipulation of the game, and you know exactly what you were doing, Candace. You knew exactly what you were doing when you were talking about this. And this is why we say you are now labeled the biggest OG Kappa in women's basketball.
Crazy. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that there needs to be some rules with the WNBA players because this is getting out of hand. Caitlin Clark voted 11th best guard by WNBA players. That's crazy. Kelsey Plum.
Candace, my man broke it down, and he know you know better.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Just because you went over there and started drinking Mickle Magnesia, and then you went to go get a teammate of hers that I think is out of pocket, that she shouldn't be talking about her, you know, her fellow man while she playing, critiquing and doing all of that stuff. I don't think that that's smart. it's like the clickbait is real, y'all. The clickbait is real. Caitlin Clark, if you don't want to play basketball, step away, because the basketball, the WNBA was on the trajectory up. You and Angel sped it up, but it was on this trajectory up because people like Kobe was already supporting. People like Kevin Durant was already supporting women's basketball. People like Stephen Curry was already supporting women basketball. So I don't know on that take, but me personally, Caitlin, if you don't want to play basketball, you should step away, because the game gonna be here. It was here when you came, and it's gonna be here when you go away, because one thing you can't stop is greatness. No matter what color, no matter what shape, no matter what size, it's gonna continue to be great and have a great product come out of it in the WNBA. There's future that's right now in college. So, to end y'all debate, end all of these people that are doing crazy things and having crazy work, we're talking about a subject like this that is delicate. And in the midst of this, last night, the Phoenix Mercury played the Indiana Fever. And do you know that Alyssa Thomas was booed in her own stadium? This is how crazy the Indiana Fever fans are. But she was booed, and the Indiana Fever were being cheered on. I texted that to Keisha last night. I say, do you believe that they're cheering for the Indiana Fever in the stadium? The Indiana Fever fans are louder in Phoenix. And Nate Tippett had to say, well, this was a playoff type of environment. No, you couldn't tell you was at home, Nate Tippett. And that has an effect on you guys. I mean, it's psychological that you got more Caitlin Clark or Fever fans in the building in your house, because Ryan Howard spoke about the GOAT coming last year and how the Gamecock Nation was in at the game when the Aces and the Atlanta Dream played last year, and they was cheering the GOAT on. And the Dream lost that game. And she was upset and was blaming it on Atlanta fans for cheering Asia Wilson on. But that wasn't Atlanta fans. It was a Gamecock Nation that followed her from South Carolina that was there to see the GOAT. And those people bought tickets, the Indiana Fever fans, and this congressional thing is so big, they made sure and let Alyssa Thomas know, don't touch our Great White Hope. Don't touch her. Hands off. And the Indiana Fever won without Caitlin Clark being on the floor. 92-89. This is a debate that I'll further go on because I have talked enough about that situation, because I don't like it. And I don't want to see anyone disrespected, unprotected. But if you fearing for your life, Caitlin, if you feel like somebody's going to do something to you, Caitlin, I would say just step away. Like your fanboy Jason Whitlock said. Jason Whitlock also said that he think that Caitlin Clark should walk away from basketball. That it looks like it's not fun to her anymore. It looks like she just can't have her way with the coach that she has. And it's probably time to go. I don't know. But I would say that this is a big debate. We'll really talk about this tonight in depth. We're going to have a good 10 o'clock show tonight, Friday night, about the situation and the impact of it all, because I spent 40 minutes just on that subject and topic because it's a really big and political thing. But next, we'll turn our attention. We'll turn our attention to Chicago Sky. They say, oh, Lord, bro, Claude. Man, look, these women here to play basketball. And I believe that Skylar Diggins came with an opinion. Yes, 10 p.m. tonight. I'll be running a whole full-fledged panel tonight. I already told MDT to be here and MSL. The game ran late last night on MSL, but after the Sky game, because they play late tonight, I'm still going on. So if y'all up, it's Friday night. So I mean, after the Sky game, I'm definitely gonna go live. And if y'all are woke, you know, I know it'll probably be 1 o'clock in the morning for you, MSL. Definitely we want you to come and join us tonight. You know, if you're on Eastern time, but us CT time, it'll be right after the game tonight. The Chicago Sky play the LA Sparks in Neka Agumake tonight. So Skylar Diggins to the forefront. Skylar Diggins is among these sisters, the women that has made basketball what it is today. She have over 14 years in the league and seen this league and been with this league in its development. Skylar Diggins should be respected. Skylar Diggins is not being treated well in this. But I want you guys to consider. Something. This is real life for these people. These people really believe in what they're doing. These people.
They call her fadeaway fee.
You don't even know, like, this is my livelihood. I do this for a living.
3-time MVP.
For us to win it all, I need to perform well. I love you. It's gonna look like it's easy, but it's not.
This year, I've come in with a mission.
Collier comes up with a steal.
And anger is a great motivator.
You would think playing 17 years in the league, you would be set for life, but I'm not. In my mind, I'm just like, what am I gonna do next?
We're in a CBA year. About 85% of the league is free agents.
2026 is gonna be one for the books.
You wanna say hi to your best friend? Basketball is life-changing, but is it worth missing your family?
Has this happened in any other sport where you're expanding this rapidly?
Don't wish that I lose so I can come home.
It's gonna be like mass chaos.
So this is real life to these ladies, man. This is their livelihood. Do y'all realize they're not trying to do anything else but play basketball? Meanwhile, Angel Reese is doing everything. Meanwhile, Baby Bopper, Angel Reese is doing everything. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile,
going to say this to Skylar Diggins, sis. You survived too many storms to be bothered by raindrops.
Skylar, don't take it personal. Because Skylar, you know, when you moved here and when you came here to this city, you were making a business decision and a family decision, because some women who understands that, you know, when you have a relationship break or a divorce, or the man is not active, some of your sisters, you need help. You need help. And you really need a help. If the man steps away, a village has to be in a participant to your children, especially a professional basketball player. So a lot of people had something to say, and most people had things to say about Skylar Diggins making a transition to Chicago to take on Chicago and play for Chicago, because she was closer to home. She was closer to home. And was this a bad decision? It depends on what she wanted to have in her career. But this was not a good decision if she thought she was going to get a ring. If she wanted to play for a ring, Chicago was not the place to come to. Chicago is in the ground, up underneath the soil. And it really needs time to get rid of all of the front office and the ownership for it to grow. Some people say it needs to be set on fire, just like they do in the weed, you know, those weed farms that come up and they burn them and then replant there and have, you know, great vegetation come and grow after the fire. It says, Steady, you wanted me to come up on this afternoon now as well, or you're talking about later tonight? Tonight, brother. I got a whole segment that I got to finish this show. So I'm gonna finish the show up and the subject. So I wanted you and MDT. I just wanted to let you guys know. I want you guys to come up tonight, and we gonna really go get into it, because MSL is very informative. It's one of my partners. He really lay it out. I'm definitely having him more on the show and being a part of what I'm doing, because, you know, MSL is definitely a brother that's fair in his opinion when it comes to basketball. And we already know that MSL and MDT is an Indiana Fever fan. So we already know that. But he also is fair in basketball, and he's able to talk fair basketball with us. So yeah, I would like you guys to be here tonight for the conversation, because it's gonna get lit tonight too. I ain't playing no games with y'all on Friday. Yeah. So you guys.
She just didn't seem like the kind of player from what I've never covered her directly, but the kind of player who would want to be in an organization that maybe doesn't have the necessary amenities or things at this point in her career, just based on how she's spoken about things in the past. But she signs with this guy. A lot of what they did initially was really interesting. And then I feel like post her Kat Jackson injury, it just all kind of fell apart. And maybe it was all going to fall apart anyways, because she got injured so early in the season that we don't know how things would have played out. As much as they signed some exciting names and everything, hasn't really translated to the on-court success that they hoped. And then a couple days ago, she posts on Instagram that she is going to be moved to the bench and doesn't seem very happy about it. That ends up happening. And I know now she's out with a knee injury, which I'm not sure how that's kind of related to all this. But as someone who's covered this league for a long time, who's covered Skylar for a long time, who's covered the Sky, what do you make of this saga? Because she was an all-star not too long ago. For her to be coming off the bench is a little bit perplexing, but at the same time, there's a lot there.
There's a lot of history here with Skylar Diggins that I think is necessary context, because I think there are a lot of fans that have come into the game in the last 3-4 years, primarily with Angel Reese, who see what the Chicago Sky did to her and assume that a very similar pattern is emerging here. The Chicago Sky's incompetence as an organization is sort of a given at this point, and I do think it is really interesting that Skylar Diggins decided to sign with this franchise when there was a book a decade long that told you that this is what happens and that you will be disappointed and that you are not the meme from Arrested Development where you're like, but it may work for me. It does not work this way with this franchise, and you should have known a little bit better in that respect.
Man, y'all, I'm just saying, man, Skylar Diggins came to Chicago, but in the last 21 games, Skylar Diggins has averaged 14.2 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 0.9 steals, and 0.6 in blocks. Diggins signed a 2-year contract with the Chicago Sky. Before the 2026 season to bring veteran leadership and playmaking to retool the roster. Through 21 games, Chicago Sky has struggled as a team with a 7-14 record. And Diggins has been at the center of discussion about the lineups, the changes, the roles that they all supposed to have, the things in the lies that she was given before the season start that they sat at the table and talked about in great fashion. She looked so good, y'all, at the table. But anyway, recent reports indicate she was surprised by a coaching decision to move her to the bench after starting every game to this point. Even though her scoring 14.2 points a game is below her career average, she's still one of Chicago's primary ball handlers of the offense and organizers. Her assist production reflects her role as a facilitator, but questions remain about whether that the Sky had enough consistency scoring around her. Reported lineup changes have become a major storyline because Skylar Diggins have been a long-time starter throughout her WNBA career. Since 2016, she has not seen the bench in her career in the public. She has expressed frustration about the decision that Tyler Marsh has made. I would say this, and I got this from ADP, and it's a beautiful thing because ADP is very inspirational, and I love her very much. But this is to us all, not just to Skylar, but to us all in keeping context of things.
This is why people can mimic your dress. You encourage people because you know what it's like to need those words yourself. This is why people can mimic your dress, mimic your swag, mimic what you do, but they can't copy your anointing. It's because until you've been through what I've been through, you can't walk in what I walk in. You encourage people.
All praises is due to God. All praises is due to the Lord of the worlds. Skylar, they can't stop you from being you. They will never stop you from being you. They could never stop you from being you. But we know that Skylar Diggins came here in Chicago because one thing and main thing is she's a mother. She came to Chicago because she's a single mother at this point in her life. Thank you, ADP. You are a beautiful person. She came here to be a centerpiece close to home, where she do have fans here because a lot of her family members are from here and here. Skylar Diggins is a mother that was on the far distance part of America in Seattle when she played for the Storm. She was talked to with Angel Montgomery, told her, don't quit, don't give up, don't let it go. You can do it. You can do it. And she came back. I just want that picture specifically to keep in context. Hey, Sister Cynthia Cox, how you doing? BD is in the house. Sister Victory, I see you up in here. The context of a lot of people be like, oh no, see, I don't care what she got. What says you? But motherhood is real. Motherhood is real. And I don't want no man talking about nothing. This is the women's time right here when it comes to motherhood. So none of us men got too much of nothing to say, except for us that knew, some of us that had single mothers. I didn't have a single mother, but I had aunts that were single and divorced. And some of my cousins were raised in a single parent home. And some of my best friends lost their father, were either murdered, like my cousin and my best friend, childhood friend, Lorenzo. His father was murdered. So they grew up not having the father in the home. So I just want people to have more compassion on her decision of coming to Chicago to get the help and the resources that she needed for herself and her family. Because, of course, she could pay for a natty. She's making money and she can do all these other things. But she wanted to be next to where her mama is. And this is the first big check that Skylar Diggins ever landed in the WNBA of her career in her 14th year. She got $1.8 million to come to Chicago. Who wouldn't take an almost $2 million bag, and you've been getting peanuts for all of this time? You would. I don't give a damn what you say and how you say I wouldn't take it. I don't care. I ain't coming to Chicago. Sky, they did Angel wrong. I beg to differ. What type of businessman you have? Is you that damn emotional that you can't understand that this was business? You ain't the one that I want to be in my family as a head to try to lead, guide, and hold on. You got to consider the money that was on the line, the best offer, and the best situation for you as a person. That's why she came to Chicago. Now, the expectation of Chicago, I don't know. That's to be debated. I don't really even think that Skylar could not have believed Jeff Pagliocci. And I hate to say it, but she shouldn't have never believed Courtney Vandersloot either. Those people can never be trusted, especially when they're running a mom and pop organization. But it's injury, inquiries and questionings around her stepping away from the game and being on the sideline, as we saw Skylar Diggins being upset that she was taken out of the actual starting lineup. Skylar Diggins has been dealing with an injury concerns from the beginning, though, of this year. And now fans are asking what happens and what is going on next. But she says she's been trying to take care of her body. There's things that's not here for her to take care of. Because y'all see Skylar Diggins cut. When you seen her in Unrivaled, you saw she was able to go work out every day. She had a doctor on deck. I mean, leaving Unrivaled, this is how trash bag the Chicago Sky is. The scum lord Vagabond that Michael Alter is, Unrivaled, is outdoing and has outdone the Chicago Sky. A single city, now they're going into multiple cities, but a single city league that started out just in a single city league. A single city league is outperforming a franchise in a national league. A single city league, which was Unrivaled, once again, is outdone the Chicago Sky wholeheartedly. It's a conviction. Michael Alter needs to sell this team. He has not met to no type of standards. Cathy Engelbert had to adjust. The WNBA council had to adjust. And they had to go call the Obama's facility for action. They had to go to the Obama's facility to get action for the All-Star game, because of course, Chicago Sky gonna always get, you know what I'm saying, drop the ball. And then this arrogant guy, Michael Alter, Nadia Rollinson, the arrogant girl, and this arrogant general manager that tries to do lie, snake scheme, the forked tongue of Nadia Rollinson, who lies, who come in the public, who come on ABC, who come on NBC, that come on CBS, not allegedly, this is footage that she comes and lie right out of her mouth and try to tell the public who give our dollars to the team who goes and watch the Chicago Sky since Angel Reese has came in the misuse of our dollars. Michael Alter is an irresponsible owner that should be called to his end of owning any team in the WNBA. The WNBA should be petitioned to force a sale of this team because he runs it so bad. He has not met up to any fundamental type of business advocacy or fundamental I'm trying to say fundamental baseline foundation of operations to make, ooh, that was bars. Foundation of the operation to actually call himself a businessman. The Obamas facility is now being used for the All-Star game. The Obama's facility is being used for the All-Star game, chat. Why is the let me tell you how these people take care of business, man. They start working on that thing by the lakefront, y'all. That's by the lakefront. They cut off, you know what I mean, the passageway in that lakefront to get this thing done, man. And it's done before Chicago Sky, who just only have to have the right thing to be set up for a basketball organization, franchise. We are now going to have the Obama facility to go into some of the activities for the WNBA. That's right on the lakefront, chat. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's monumental. It's going to be here for at least 100 years or more in remembrance of our Black president. But we have to use that facility for a basketball organization who just can't get it right. So Barack, if you're watching, tell Michael Alter to sell the damn team. Michelle, this is our city, and our city is beautiful. But the people have such a bad taste about our beautiful city because of this scumbag, those ones in basketball. The people that been to Chicago already know that my city stands alone, clean, everything. You got no big old rats running downtown. New York, can you hear me? Okay, BD, y'all. Okay. They got them rats like, hey, they had a rat walking down the street in New York, in the middle of New York, with a hot dog and a bun in their hand. You know what I'm saying? In their mouth, walk her down the dang gone street. God. Anyway, okay. I love it when my New York people up in here. MSL, you better have you a They'll call me a rat. Oh my God, New York City. Y'all need to clean that city up. I'm saying, man, God, what filthy thing going on there, man. Y'all, man, ain't nothing. Dang. Be dirty, chat. You got Times Square looking like trash. Lord have mercy. Anyway. Yeah, looking like trash. Anyway, Skylar Diggins had, you know what I mean? What's her injury status? We don't know. How much Chicago, depends on veteran leadership. I don't know. How is the chemistry on Chicago where we've seen them lose 10 games straight? Do they have a chance of being in the playoffs? I don't know. They got to get it going for real, for real. Coming behind is a thing that Chicago has failed to do. How important is it for Skylar Diggins not to come off the bench? That ain't important. Long as she get her points, long as she continue to make them eat crow, long as she keep up her historic, at this point, Skylar, it's about what you got to do for yourself to make it in order. Of course, playing with your teammates, but doing what you have to do to continue your numbers and your historic legacy to continue. You got to be a little selfish in that part of your game to keep your stats up, because Tyler Marsh is a career killer. Yeah, man. Jeff Pagliosha is a career killer. So my last part of the segment, man, is Angel Reese. She makes history, y'all. Whether you love her, criticize her, Angel Reese continues to be putting up her name in the record books. Every time you turn around, Angel then broke a record. When I show you in this graphic, the Angel Reese, 64 double-doubles. Tina Charles, 63 double-doubles. Far drop. Yolanda Griffith, 49. And Miss Williams, 48. Them some bad girls. There's some bad girls. And Angel Reese has passed Miss Natalie Williams and Yolanda Griffith and Big Dog Tina Charles. Her motor is tenacious. The energy that Angel Reese has is infectious. The competitiveness and her consistency has put all of those haters to shame. Angel Reese is one of the most prominent players of the WNBA of this time. In debate, Angel Reese already is one of the greatest rebounders of all time in this league. She should receive MVP consideration because of her consistency in the way that she plays this game to the highest level. Angel Reese receives attention on all parts of the court. In the 94-50, they have to watch what Angel Reese is going to do. She intimidates. She leads the charge. She has no mercy for the other team. The popularity of social media, the popularity in all the highways and byways in all different genres, Angel Reese is still criticized for just being her. The high expectations, they had none because they didn't think that Angel Reese, and they led America, the Caitlin Clark fans and the Caitlin Clark clan had made America because they took to YouTube early before us and the social media reigns before us, and the ones of late that are supporting Angel Reese, they took to the highways and byways of podcasting, social media, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, and they were trying to drown out the greatness of Angel Reese. But Angel Reese, right now in her third year, is the greatest rebounder of all time. We've never seen nothing like her, especially in this format in WNBA and NBA history. Outside of Dennis Rodman, there's none that you can really recall that can handle what Angel Reese has put down. The transition of things, the true story about it all will be coming out. The true story about Angel Reese and who she is will be coming out real soon. I'm sure it's a documentary actually to explore her travels here in Chicago, going to Atlanta, and all of the adversities that she has already been through. The strain, the mental fortitude that she had to have to overcome all of what Jeff Pagliosha and Michael Alter and Nadia Rollison had did in her early part of the career. But in the bigger picture, y'all, the WNBA has never received this much national attention in history. The television ratings, the attendance, the social media engagement, the political attention, the celebrity attention, the corporate sponsorship, and it has grown more viewers. In the WNBA's growth, it's so much controversy looming around something that has not been taking place in over 30 years. Should the officiating improve in the WNBA? Yes. Should the player safety become a bigger issue and an emphasis? Yes. Can physical basketball still exist in practicing and participating and amongst the players? Yes. How should the league handle online harassment directed to players? They should go directly to those pages, those channels that are actually abusive, and give them a flag for things that are out of the way. If you're hating, sending hateful things or talking about unaliving people and calling people disgusting names and things like that, calling them monkey chipmunks and sloths and, hey, I participated in that because of the way that they were calling Angel Reese these things. So it kind of made me mad because we all know Caitlin Clark is not a great looker. I'm just saying, Angel Reese is a baddie. Tonight, I'll be going into more of what the government is really trying to do. And don't fall for the okie doke. And don't think that this is not an undertone. Regardless of where you stand on these issues, and one thing that's undeniable, the WNBA is commanding national attention. From record-breaking performances to debates about the player safety and league governance, these conversations are shaped and shaped and put out there for the future of women's basketball. So I wanted to make sure my show today was just a full show about the real thing, the main thing. And I came to y'all on a Friday to say, hey, I appreciate it. And the support that everybody has been doing to stand with me on this channel. And y'all know I've been 10 toes down for Angel Reese because this is an Angel Reese channel. And I stand where I stand with my player. The baby goat is the baby goat. And my goat is my goat. And my teams are my teams because I love women's basketball. I love men's basketball. I love the sports in particularly all across the board. So I would say this, man. Leave in the comments of what you think Caitlin Clark should do. Should she quit basketball? Should she take some time off, some more time off, like she did last year? Or should Cathy Engelbert step in and go into her office and give money to real professional referees and raise their pay? Because if you have trashy pay, you got trashy outcomes. What's going on, AJ? Love you, boy. When you have trashy officials, you have trashy outcomes of games, and people are exhausted. People are exhausted from watching this debacle. So turn on your notifications every time I drop a hot banger. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Give to this channel. Be a part of this channel. Be a member of this channel. Go over there to my main man, AJ. He been knocking it out on Twitter. Listen, X, man, listen, man. This is my man. I love you. I appreciate you for being there for Angel. Go over to his YouTube channel. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. The man is an Angel Reese advocate just like myself. His daughter, you know, and everything that he does to support Angel. And I appreciate it so much, fam. And I love you and I thank you for being a part of this community that was here first in the beginning, when Angel Reese had no social media presence and no one really campaigning for her outside of the few channels that we had back in the day. Y'all know who they are. But I also thank KSAP for allowing us and showing me the game to come here today, to be able to come up here, man, and give y'all this content about basketball and Angel Reese and Asia Wilson today. I appreciate y'all, and I thank you for what you've done. I thank you for what you do, and I thank you for what you will do after these messages. Hey, everybody. My name is Bro Claude, and I'm here to tell you about the best whipped organic shea butter on planet Earth. It just so happens to be my brand, Bread House Butters. Sheens, shine, heal, treats, moisturize, condition your skin. Not only is this the best shea butter for you, but it heals good, smells good, and feels good. It is the best moisturizer that you can use. It clears up any scars, scrapes, stretch marks, blemishes, rashes, bruises, eczema, psoriasis, and most intensified dryness of skins. You can put this on your face, your hair, and your body, and I'm telling you, this is the best product that you can use in America, because of course we make ours and crafted handcrafted in our own kitchen. So I'm asking for you guys to support the #1 product that you're gonna ever be able to put on your body, Bread House Butters brand. And guess what? You can go to breadhousebutters.com. I said breadhousebutters.com, and put your order in now. Thank you, and I appreciate everyone who supports.
Hood soldier that the streets talk about. If it ain't making money, ain't nothing to talk about. Keep my
You guys, here's a little something that dropped. Shout out to Big Girl. I got something for you, y'all. Real quick, Big Girl wanted me to play this.
She's a locker room cancer. She's a hothead.
Uh-oh, here you go.
Kennedy Carter doesn't have an attitude problem, nor is she a locker room cancer. Gets cut from the Aces and immediately people begin saying the same tired things about her. She can't stay on a team, she's a locker room cancer, she's a hothead. But something that we always miss when we talk about Kennedy Carter is context. We never discuss context and her history in this league. And the context that I'm about to present to you guys right now just might change how you see Kennedy Carter. Stick with me because this might be long. After Kennedy Carter's rookie season in Atlanta, her coach was interviewed and this is what she had to say about her. Nikki Collin, who was the Atlanta Dream head coach at the time, says that she believes there's a natural tendency for athletes to follow the best player on their team, and it's clear that Carter is that player and will be that player for the Dream for the foreseeable future. Kennedy herself says that I was put in a position I'm pretty sure most rookies wouldn't be put in. I had to run the team, be a leader, and be the youngest one in the league probably doing that. It definitely put me to the test for sure. Kennedy is quoted saying that the coach trusted that she could get the job done and that she could run the team. So if it was decided that Kennedy Carter was the future and the leader of the Atlanta Dream, what changed? How does Kennedy Carter go from being appointed as the cornerstone to a franchise her rookie season to then being suspended the following year? Now, disclaimer, this is where we get into my theory, so I have to say allegedly, everything allegedly. Looking back, I think where things first went wrong for Kennedy Carter in Atlanta was her coach Nikki Collin leaving for Baylor. Kennedy Carter only played one season with the coach who handed her the keys to the franchise. And the reason that Kennedy even got the opportunity to showcase her talents the way she did in 2020 as a rookie was because Renee Montgomery and Tiffany Hayes both sat out that season. So those were two guards who should have been on the floor that season, taking away time from Kennedy because, again, they sat out. They were not there to do that. The second thing that I believe posed an issue for Kennedy was the sale of the Atlanta Dream in 2021. In 2021, the Atlanta Dream got sold to a new ownership group that included Renee Montgomery, a player who had just last played for them in 2019. She was teammates with players like Tiffany Hayes and Mo Billings, who were actively on the roster in 2021. Renee Montgomery joined the ownership group as an investor and as an executive for the team, so somebody with decision-making power. Again, at this point in 2021, Kennedy Carter no longer has the coach that gave her the keys to the franchise, and former Atlanta Dream player Renee Montgomery is now a part owner who also has personal relationships with players who are still currently active on the Atlanta Dream roster. Just to be clear, that is where we are. So in 2021, Tiffany Hayes makes her return to the Atlanta Dream, again with Renee Montgomery, her former teammate and likely a personal and close friend, as part of the ownership group. Without the coach that set the foundation for the future of the franchise, which was meant to be Kennedy Carter, I think it's very possible that veterans like Tiffany Hayes were being given certain things that they shouldn't have been given, maybe due to things like politics, because we know that's how the WNBA operates. I think it's extremely likely that Kennedy Carter was always fighting an uphill battle in Atlanta due to Renee Montgomery's personal relationship with some of those players. Let's take a moment to talk about Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams was traded to the Atlanta Dream from the Connecticut Sun after they lost in the 2019 finals. Stick with me, I promise this is relevant. What's interesting about this trade is that Curt Miller swears up and down that Courtney Williams is the one who wanted out of Connecticut. Yet Courtney also swears up and down that she never intended nor wanted to leave Connecticut, and she hopes that the Connecticut fans and her teammates understand that. I don't know about y'all, but what that tells me, girl, is that Courtney Williams was not wanted in Connecticut. Curt Miller wanted her gone. And part of why I think Curt Miller wanted her gone, or a large part of why I think Curt Miller wanted her gone, was because of the Alex Bentley incident. For those of you that don't know, Courtney Williams was actually involved in a physical altercation with her teammate Alex Bentley back in 2018 when she played in Connecticut. Late on Sunday evening, a report from WNBA Insider indicated that Courtney Williams' recent absence from the Connecticut Sun was due in part to an altercation with teammate Alex Bentley. Less than 24 hours later, Bentley was off the team. There hasn't ever been official confirmation as to why Alex Bentley was traded, but like, girl, come on now, less than 24 hours. At the time of the incident, the Sun moved Alex Bentley right away. But for Courtney Williams, they wait until the end of next season to move her. And Curt probably just kept Courtney for one more season to see whether or not the Sun would be able to win a title with that core. And when the Sun didn't, Courtney Williams found herself in Atlanta. A player with a documented history of at least one incident of getting into a physical altercation with a teammate was now on the Atlanta Dream team with Kennedy Carter. So at this point in 2020, things between Courtney and Kennedy are cool because Nikki Collin is still there to say, hey, this is Kennedy's team. This is how we're going to run things. I think in 2021 is where things really hit the fan between Kennedy Carter and Courtney Williams, because at this point, Kennedy no longer had Nikki Collin to say, hey, this is her team. Again, not only that, you also had Renee Montgomery in the ownership group who had a personal relationship with certain veterans on the Atlanta Dream team. If you go back and you look at some stats from that 2021 Atlanta Dream season, you can see that Kennedy's Kennedy's minutes didn't really increase from the previous season. She was still playing the same 25 minutes she was playing the season before. You can see too that she was putting up a similar amount of points as the veteran guards on the roster who were playing way more minutes than her. And you guys see in 2020, this was her rookie season. She was averaging 17 points, playing about 25 minutes a game. This is why the coach said she was the future of the Atlanta Dream. In my opinion, all of that is the source of what eventually led to Kennedy Carter getting suspended from Atlanta. Her rookie season, the coach tells her that this is her team and that this is her franchise moving forward. Yet the next season, all of that is taken away from her by players who are not even better than her, and by some players, including Courtney Williams, who was on the roster the previous season. So you know what the coach said about Kennedy. You knew this was supposed to be Kennedy's team this season, but it doesn't seem like she was okay with that. This whole thing of Courtney Williams implored Carter to get more engaged during the game and cheer for her teammates from the bench, this just never really made sense. There's something behind this. Back in 2021, Christina had actually reposted this now deleted tweet of Kennedy Carter's brother alleging that Courtney Williams punched his sister in the locker room. Courtney Williams denied this allegation and said if she hit somebody, then she would admit it. With the context that I just explained to y'all of Kennedy knowing that this was supposed to be her team going into her sophomore season, and Courtney Williams having a history of getting physical with her teammates, and we really say for sure that Kennedy Carter was 100% in the wrong with this situation in Atlanta. And then again, we take into account that Renee Montgomery just got into the ownership group. She was also close with the vets like Tip Hay, so she had incentive to protect them in the media. If you go back and you really look at that 2021 Atlanta Dream Team, the entire locker room, the entire organization was a mess from top to bottom. It was not just a Kennedy Carter problem. Allegedly, they scapegoated Kennedy Carter because it was the easiest thing to do to her as a young player in this league. And it was the easiest thing on some of their egos as well. How is it that Courtney Williams is the common denominator in altercations with her teammates, yet Kennedy Carter is the one that gets reprimanded? I personally believe that has a lot to do with Renee Montgomery. At the time that this went down, Courtney Williams tweeted this: "If you know me, you know how I get down. I never initiate controversy. I'm too old for that. I was brought up different in this league. You respect your vets and your coaches, whether you agree or not." Again, I don't know about y'all, but that tells me pretty much everything right there that went down in Atlanta with Kennedy Carter. Those Atlanta veterans wanted Kennedy Carter to bow down to the WNBA's old guard system, and she said, "No, ma'am, I'm not doing that because I'm better than all of y'all." And I can't be mad at her for that, especially because the coach had already put her stamp of approval on Kennedy the season before. I'm telling y'all, if anything, this tweet right here is probably the most telling thing about that entire situation. And fast forward a little less than a year later, we find out about the Crystal Bradford and Courtney Williams street fight. So the fight actually happened back in May, but the news didn't break to the public until around October. Nonetheless, this is now the third fight that Courtney Williams has been involved in. Back when this happened, Courtney and Crystal's agent actually said that the Atlanta Dream knew about this incident when it went down, but they chose not to discipline the players at that time because the video had not yet been made public. Again, this happened in May, but the video didn't come out until months later. And even here, he says again that the Dream organization knew about this altercation, but chose not to suspend the players until the video became public and the organization decided that it was a bad look on them. So why is that relevant? That's relevant because I just told you guys that Renee Montgomery is part of this ownership group and that she may have been using her power to protect certain players at Kennedy Carter's expense. This Courtney Williams and Crystal Bradford situation may be some evidence that supports that, because why did you not suspend these players until the video became public when you really knew this entire time? The video is already too long, but I say all of that to say, when you look into where the narrative of Kennedy Carter being a problem player started, which is Atlanta, you start to see that maybe she wasn't really the problem that people are trying to make her out to be. Kennedy Carter is not a hothead. She's not a locker room cancer. Kennedy Carter is the best two guard in the league who expects to be treated that way everywhere that she goes, because there's not many people better than her. Kennedy Carter does not want to bow down to the politics of the WNBA. She feels like because she is the best, she should be treated that way, and I can't fault her for that. This situation in Atlanta and what media put out about Kennedy Carter's separation from Atlanta is what allowed every other team that Kennedy Carter went to afterward regurgitate the same lies about her attitude, when in reality, they just didn't want to sideline their veteran players for her. The Aces had absolutely every right to cut Kennedy Carter because they don't need her to win. But the WNBA's culture reflected in this Courtney Williams tweet is exactly why Kennedy will never be bothered by y'all telling her to go play in Mexico or in China or wherever it is. Because Kennedy has always said that she wants to go where she's valued and where her skills are appreciated. Anyway, girl, teaspoon and Kennedy to the comments. Kennedy Carter doesn't have an attitude problem, nor is she a locker room cancer. Gets cut from the Aces
This so this gives you context. This gives you context. And this is what I was saying, MSL. This gives you context. Thank you, big girl. Thank you, big girl. I appreciate that. That's why this gives you context. But I still say the Atlanta Dream, definitely bum organization. I told y'all that. Chicago Sky, bum organization. I stand on that. And the Aces has some other stuff going on. They've been had. That's why De'Erica Hamby had to get up out of there, and Kelsey Plum left in her opportunity to go and run her own team because it's political. But I will still say, Kennedy, it was a layup. She did some things to get herself kicked off this team. She did some things to get kicked off this team because, you know, you just got to play it cool. When people have a black eye on you, you just got to walk and tread a certain way. And I know what happened to her. And it probably, I mean, definitely that will wear on you. And how she broke that down, that will wear on your mental health. Because the WNBA is known for bullying. These girls are mean girls too, for real. I don't doubt what was going on. I don't doubt that this happened. I don't doubt that any of this had a context of what what it is. But I do believe that this actually is true. You ain't send me part 2, baby girl. You didn't send me part 2. You didn't send it to me. I would have played it. I would have played it for you. But Kennedy Carter is definitely, probably, arguably the number 1-2 guard in the league. Arguably. Her and Jackie Young, somewhere in there. Arguably. Yeah, arguably. I think she's better than Alicia Gray. Not a whole lot, but I think she's better than Alicia Gray. Just a little bit. My Chicago girl. My Gamecock queen. I think that her and Jackie Young is probably neck and neck. I don't see no other, who else? Sydney Taylor looked like she got traits of her. I believe that night for night, I believe there's no 2 guard I can think of. Khalil Copper played a 3. Okay, here you go.
Kennedy Carter doesn't have an attitude problem, nor.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Here come part 2.
I've said this before, and I'll say. Kennedy Carter doesn't have an attitude problem, nor is she.
Hold on a second, y'all.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The Aces had every right to cut Kennedy Carter because.
All right, y'all. Here you go, chat. Here we go. Chat.
More than likely do it again. Nowhere in my video did I say that Becky Hammon woke up one day and decided strong. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Aces had every right to cut Kennedy Carter because they've won without her and they will more than likely do it again. Nowhere in my video did I say that Becky Hammon woke up one day and decided to cut Kennedy Carter because of the Courtney Williams altercation. What I said was that the altercation between Courtney Williams and Kennedy Carter in Atlanta and the lack of clarity surrounding that situation is what laid the foundation for other narratives about Kennedy Carter to be piled on top. I said that we don't discuss the very relevant context surrounding Kennedy Carter's suspension out of Atlanta, which is the fact that her rookie season, Kennedy Carter was the leading scorer of the Atlanta Dream, and she was promised by her coach her rookie season to be the franchise player going forward. But that never ended up happening. And I theorize that that never ended up happening because of Renee Montgomery and her connections to some of the veterans on the Atlanta Dream.
I believe it.
If you're not able to look at that and see that that context is relevant to Kennedy Carter's story, I'm not sure what to tell you. In case you guys don't know or you guys forgot, in a place like the WNBA, it's not that hard to have your reputation tarnished based off some lies. Do I have to remind you guys what the Chicago Sky and Courtney Vandersloot tried to do to Angel Reese? Do I have to remind you guys what they did to Teresa Weatherspoon? How many videos are there on my page about the Chicago Sky lying about something? How many videos have I made exposing them with proof showing you this is what they lied about here, this is what they lied about there? I've shown you guys that the Chicago Sky got their media people to get up in articles and write lies about Kennedy Carter, write lies about Teresa Weatherspoon, write lies about Angel Reese. The only reason that the Chicago Sky organization wasn't fully able to get away with what they did to Angel Reese was because of the platform and the leverage that that platform brought to Angel Reese in that situation. I'm going to need you guys to ask yourselves just how successful you think the Chicago Sky would have been in trying to do what they did to Angel Reese had she not had the following that she does. Really think about that. So again, if we see what Courtney Vandersloot and the Chicago Sky did to Angel Reese, the lies that they published about her, who's to say that the Atlanta Dream didn't do something similar to Kennedy Carter in 2021? And at the time, it would have been a lot easier for them to get away with because Kennedy didn't have the eyes on her that Angel does now. And the reason that they keep throwing this dirt on Kennedy's name is because, again, the foundation has already been laid and they bank on y'all not going back and doing any research as to what really happened with Kennedy Carter in Atlanta. All Kennedy had on her side was her talent. And unfortunately, in a place like the WNBA, that's not enough. Just the point that I'm trying to make to y'all. That's a huge problem in the WNBA. They don't always choose the most talented because of politics, because of personal relationships. And that's something that Kennedy sees and she doesn't subscribe to. Because she knows she's the best, she wants to go to every team and be treated that way. And again, I can't necessarily fault her for that because she has
Well, that's that. Hold on a second, chat. Let me see if I can pull it back up. It got stuck. It got stuck, Chuck.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Aces had every right to cut
Okay, here we go.
Kennedy Carter because they've won without her and they will more than likely do it again. Nowhere in my video did I say that Becky Hammon woke up one day and decided to cut Kennedy Carter because of the Courtney Williams altercation. In a place like the WNBA, that's not enough. Just the point that I'm trying to make to y'all.
It stopped at that point, big girl.
That's a huge problem in the W.
It stopped at that point, big girl. I was trying to play it for you, but it okay. It stopped at that point. It just rolled. It just rolls, sister. Look, it ain't me. Man, this sister was getting down. Y'all go check it out. Y'all self. I gotta get out of here. But y'all go check it out.
Any leverage on that Atlanta Dream Team in 2021. But some
I don't know. So tried to make it happen for y'all, but listen, I'll tell y'all this. The speculations is out. We know that Kennedy is a great player. We ain't got to talk about that. We know that Kennedy Carter is special. You know, we know that Kennedy is special. And okay, it decided to work. It decided to work after I stopped. Hold on a second.
y'all that this situation enough. Which is the point that I'm trying to make to y'all. That's a huge problem in the WNBA. They don't always choose the most talented because of politics, because of personal relationships. And that's something that Kennedy sees and she doesn't subscribe to. Because she knows she's the best, she wants to go to every team and be treated that way. And again, I can't necessarily fault her for that because she has the talent to back up why she feels that way. So Kennedy didn't have any leverage on that Atlanta Dream Team in 2021, but some of the veterans did because they had their friend and former teammate Renee Montgomery now a part of the ownership group. I'm trying to tell y'all that this situation was a lot less of a she's a hothead thing and a she doesn't want to bow down to the old guard of the WNBA. A couple days ago in a TikTok live, I heard former WNBA player and coach Chastity Melvin say that female coaches in this league are held to a higher standard than their male counterparts. She says that it seems like the women hold the female coaches to a higher regard than they do the male coaches. They'll allow the male coaches to get away with certain things, but the women not so much. And I do think that there's an element of this that is being played out in how people are discussing Kennedy Carter and her behavior. How many male athletes and NBA players have been known for having bad tempers throughout their entire careers, but have never once faced serious repercussions for it? Draymond Green, the guy who averages at least one physical assault per month, yeah, he still has a job in the NBA. Even after physically attacking a teammate unprovoked during a practice, Draymond Green kept his job in the NBA. That's why to all of you people who are saying Kennedy Carter doesn't deserve a spot in the WNBA, I have to really ask myself what you people genuinely think this is. Did she kill somebody? Did she violate somebody? What crime did she commit that is so grave that we just can't let her set foot back on another team? I want to say what? Oh, she's on her Twitter account talking about AZ Fudd, talking about other players. I've never seen anybody say that Kevin Durant deserves to lose his spot in the NBA for tweeting on that damn burner account. I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody say that. At least Kennedy Carter is willing to talk her mess with an account that has her name attached to it. At least she's willing to do that. Like I told y'all, she's not a politicker. She's too real for this politic and stuff. Kennedy Carter's biggest crime in the WNBA was being a young, talented, confident rookie who knew she was the best and wanted to be treated as such. Her greatest crime has always been not wanting to take a backseat to players who are worse than her because of WNBA politics. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Aces had every right to cut Kennedy Carter.
So that's a speculation, like she said. It's not as so she said allegedly, but she dropped the ballistics and the facts. And I wanted to address this, brother Rob. Hey, look, my brother from another mother, brother Robert, on this that says too real. And then it says President C. Chill on this arm. That was my very first name in hip hop. When I came in the music business, that was my first name. But things changed. And then, of course, I changed my name because, of course, we got down. You know what that is. That's right. With the soldiers at war, C. Chill and the soldiers at war my name became Killer C of SAW. But as the time went on and the industry started changing, I had a subsidiary name that me and my brother came up, and that was the Gingerbread Man, where you hear me and see me now. So I'm down with change. I'm not stuck on that. You know what I mean? It's the most marketable name. Of course, the Gingerbread Man is one of the most known names in the underground right now in hip hop. You hear my name in Gucci Mane. You hear my name when Kanye said I'm in the streets like the Gingerbread Man. Man, Kanye from Chicago. Who he was talking about? He was talking about your boy. And where my slogan come from, being in the streets and selling my music in the streets. So I'm down with change. You know what I'm saying? We gotta elevate. You know what I mean? We gotta elevate, you know, and what's more marketable for me to be able to make a better day in the situation for the fam and everything else. But I'm gonna keep it real. And I'm gonna say what the hell I want to say out my damn mouth. You already know me, bro, Rob. I'm gonna say whatever I want to say that come to my mind, because that's the type of person I am. I'm too real. That been tatted on my arm since I was 18 years old. I'm too real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't like that I'm real like that. But I'm gonna stay me. I'm gonna be me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be me. But I'm gonna also evolve in the midst of it. You get what I'm saying? In the midst of it, evolution has to come. And we have to, you know, do our thing. Say, damn, bro, Claude, what? Wait, man, did the top part of your arm belong to... Yeah, man, I got a lot of history on my arms. I'm tatted up. Bang, there go the Gingerbread Man right there. I'm tatted up. Y'all just didn't know. Y'all don't be knowing that stuff, man. Cause you know, I got to have the nice guy image. I've been in trouble a lot. You know, people don't know me. You know what I mean? You just think it is. Yeah, I'm on tonight. You know, I have to keep my, you know what I mean? I got with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from hell. I came from hell, bro. So, yeah, I'm tatted up all over. T. Camilla, don't be surprised. Y'all just can't see stuff. I keep myself covered. And, you know what I mean? Because I changed my life. I changed my life around. You know what I mean? Some things that be going, this fugazi stuff that be happening on YouTube and all of these keyboard hustlers and all these people that be, you know what I mean, be trying to have beef on YouTube and trying to be all tough and stuff, man. Please, man. I laugh at them. You know what I mean? Or cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Because you really, you know what I mean? You really don't know what's good. You really don't know. But, you know, I'm a good guy that want to be good, and I want to be a good man. So I've changed my life to do better things and progress and grow. AC, where me and AC Chi-Town come from, we ain't had too many decisions in Chicago because it's a gang affiliated team. City. So, you know what I mean? Gangbanging was invented and increased here. You know what I mean? All the way in the 50s and 60s. You got gang organizations that been around since the 50s that's still here. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, you know, it is what it is. And I'm gonna keep it street. I'm gonna always keep it good. You know, with the people, I'm going to treat the women like they're supposed to be treated on this channel. And anything that I do, there's no nation that can rise above this woman. And women run the world. I'm just being honest with you. Because y'all the mamas. We just the daddies. In the Holy Quran, the Prophet Muhammad said, love thy mother, thy mother, thy mother, then thy father. That's in the Holy Quran. So, hey, man, it is what it is. I love y'all, man. I got to get out of here. Listen, I've been on here 2 hours. I supposed to been over here an hour and a half because of Big Girl. Big Girl, you get me in trouble all the time. Tired of hanging out with you because you just get me in drama. I leave as I came, family, with another banger. Roll out, get it off my chest.
This Chicago.
And if you ain't Brother Robert, go over there and subscribe, man. Go over there and do me a favor. Support your brother. I'm developing something new. It's my show. It's my channel. My brother K-Sap is also a partner in monitoring, you know what I'm saying? Being the monitor of the show, you know what I mean? And also adding his expertise to what I'm doing, because you guys, I know I'm good. I know I'm good at what I'm a humble person because I have talent. I know I have talent. I've had talent all my life. And I just want my light to shine. And I appreciate each and every last one of y'all letting my light shine and just coming up here, man, and listening to an old fool like me. So I appreciate y'all and I thank you, man. I ain't getting sentimental. We gonna get on up out of here. Go subscribe to the new channel. Get it off my chest.
Yeah. This K-Sap and Bro Claude. Welcome to the show. No filter, no rest. Get it off your chest. Talk to him. Say it with your chest. Let's go. If you got something on your mind, get it off your chest. From the locker room talk to the plays on the screen. We break down every moment, every stat, every scene. No sugarcoat now. We keep it real in the zone. From the sidelines to the headlines, we bring it home. Quarterback pressure, fourth down decisions. We calling out truth, no fear in our vision. Say what you feel, don't hold it inside. Sports talk therapy, let it all ride. Wins and the losses we analyze best. This is get it off your chest. Now confess, get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. No filter on the mic, we don't come here to rest. Get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. Every game, every play, we break down the best. Get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. Sports talk. Now confess. Now confess. Talk that talk. No sugarcoat. Say it loud. The bass get heated, yeah, voices get loud, but we speak for the fans, yeah, we speak for the crowd. Every game, every play, every story expressed. Don't get it off your chest, now say it with your chest. From the wins to the losses, from the hype to the stress, we bring the real sports talk. Nothing more, nothing less. Big calls, bad calls, pressure on the line. We say what fans thinking every single time. Say what you feel, don't hold it inside. Sports talk therapy, let it all ride. Wins and the losses we analyze best. This is get it off your chest. Now confess, get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. No filter on the mic, we don't come here to rest. Get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. Every game, every play, we break down the best. Get it off your chest. Say it with your chest. Sports talk therapy. Now confess. No fake takes, no soft talk, no backing down when the game clock stops. Fans in the chat, everybody locked in. K-Sap and Bro Claw, let the show begin.